Welcome back to the LHS MLB podcast. We're going to start off this segment with surprise teams. And we're going to define surprise teams as teams that didn't make the playoffs, fell just shy, maybe exited early last year from the postseason, or teams that really just came out of the gate at a 180-degree angle from where they were last year. So first team we're going to start off with is probably one of the biggest ones right now, Baltimore. An AL East team, they just came off the series with Boston. Chris Davis finally getting his swing back after months since last season.
Yeah. Finally got a hit.
Yeah,
it took him long enough.
For real, I don't know.
Got his first home run.
First home run in an 8-1 victory yesterday over Boston. What do you think it is that Baltimore is doing right now that's brought this change? Is it the manager? Because I'm gonna be honest, I don't even know the manager's name. Like, I've never heard of this dude before. So I don't know what's going on maybe in front offices or clubhouse. Like, why is this team coming out so hot?
I feel like Baltimore is just tired of losing. I mean, if you like,
but they're not like always known for losing. What, 2012 they made the playoffs? What was it, 2012 last time they made the postseason?
But that's a while ago, and still they've had terrible struggles these past couple of years between pitching and then Chris Davis having that slump and like just overall team troubles. They got rid of Adam Jones. It's like this year they came out there fresh as new. I mean, they started a completely different team.
I mean, they're hitting. Chris Davis is obviously not hitting, but they are hitting.
Well, Chris Davis is coming around now. Chris Davis hit his first home run. He was 0 for 54, finally got a hit. I mean, Chris Davis turning it around
with
now.
With the Orioles, I think they're just like coming into games with a better attitude because, like Ryan, you're saying like they're hitting. I mean, they're not like big hitters. They only have two guys hitting over 300. You got Trey Mancini batting 343 and Villar batting 300.
I'm not gonna lie, Trey Mancini kind of a sleeper.
Yeah,
no one talks about him, but he's kind of a dog.
Yeah,
not gonna
just
lie.
Like last year's season, I think once they like hit the like midway season, I think they were just getting like all depressed, like how their season was going. And I think with a new manager, I think they just come into games with a better mindset, which improves their performance in game.
I'm not gonna lie, we're all AL East fans here in general. Yeah. Baltimore is known for strong starts and mid to late season collapses.
Yep.
The odds that we're gonna see it this year, not gonna lie, they're probably pretty high.
Yeah.
But it's not looking like it. I mean, they haven't gotten off to this hot of a start probably since 2012, 2013. So, I mean, it could happen. It's pretty likely to, if I'm going to be honest.
We kind of know how it goes.
It's vintage Baltimore at this point.
Yeah.
And then another AL East team is the Tampa Bay Rays. They finished in the cellar last year of their division. Terrible. And now they're in first. They're 12-4. They're 5-2 at home, and they're 7-2 away. What is it for them? Is it their pitching or their hitting that's really brought them to where they are?
For the Rays, it's got to be the pitch. I mean, Blake Snell,
that's the one person you need to know. That's the one person you have to know.
And also for Tampa Bay, I mean, you have a few good hitters. You have Galveston 351. I mean, and then you have some guys hitting like at 250, but just overall, like their pitching and their bullpen, they're just destroying their opponents at the plate, which is really able to just get a few runs on the board and then just defense do their work.
Yeah.
Austin Meadows, a center fielder for Tampa Bay, he's batting 357 right now. That's not one of the hottest center fielders in the game. That's Christian Yelich right now, but he's kind of rolling with that team as well. He's leading the team in home runs and batting average. Do you think he's playing as big of a role as everyone thought he would this year? Or do you think he's way over everyone's expectations right now?
I think he's over expectations. I mean, I haven't really heard of the guy for a while, and then all of a sudden, boom, here he is, and he's not playing that bad.
I'm gonna have to agree. I really do think he's come out way above everyone's expectations. Last year, towards the end of the season, you kind of heard of him a little bit, but at that point, the Rays were already out of the postseason. They had no shot at making it. So, I mean, where he's come from now, I feel like it's a steady improvement. And I feel like he's going to improve, and he might be an all-star at this rate. It's possible. I don't know though. I don't know if he's a big enough name to win like the fan vote and all that. So it's going to be rough for him, but I think he can do it.
Yeah.
Next team. One more American League team. Oddly enough, no National League teams in this category.
Yeah, no.
But Seattle Mariners. Seattle came off to a hot start.
They're 12-4 right now. Just looking at the stats, I mean, they have
numbers don't lie.
Yeah, I mean, looking right here, they have 4 guys batting over 300. I mean, as of right now, that's a hot start. And they also signed Kikuchi from the Japan League. I mean, yes, he had his first loss the other day, but still, just like watching videos, a strong right-hander, good release point. I think late in the season, he'll be able to get some strikeouts, and then also Encarnacion. I just think pitching and the offensive lineup for Seattle will just blow teams away.
All right, so with the Seattle Mariners, I mean, even though they had all of their losses, so they lost Edwin Diaz, Nelson Cruz, and Robinson Cano, they still have had one of the best out-of-the-gate seasons.
And Ichiro Suzuki retired.
Oh, yeah. But that was good, though. I mean, great for him.
Great moment.
It was.
But even with all those losses, they've come out such a strong start. They've, so far as a team, they've just been hitting, pitching, all of the above. They've been been dominant.
They really look like they can make the playoffs this year for the first time since 2001 or something like that.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah,
it's one of the longest droughts. Moving on, we're going to talk about teams that are on par. Teams that aren't really performing like a struggle team, or they're not surpassing anyone's expectations. First off, we're going to talk about the Philadelphia Phillies. Everyone knows about their big acquisition this year in Bryce Harper. Last year they got Jake Arrieta. Ryan, what do you think about the Phillies? Why do you think this is a slow start? Do you think this was a projected start for them, or do you think they were supposed to get out of the gates way hotter?
I think this is a projected start. I mean, they're like exactly where they should be. They always have more potential, but they have a lot of new players on the team, so they got to start to actually become a team.
Yeah, I guess I see what you're saying there. I think. I'm going to have to agree. I do think it is. I think this is an on-par start.
Yeah,
I don't think they're performing any higher than anyone thought.
Yeah.
And I don't think they're performing anyone lower than anyone expected. The only thing is, though, Bryce Harper is kind of off to a hot start. I'm not going to lie. I'm not a fan of him either.
I mean, he's batting .268, but just overall as a Phillies, just their outfield, they got McCutchen in left, Harper in right, and then you have Herrera in center field. I mean, that's a stacked outfield.
That's a
strong outfield.
I think just pretty much if a ball is hit in the outfield for the Phillies, it's either going to be caught or made a good play unless it's deep in the gaps, because you have some definite speed and you have some really good arms out in the outfield for Philly.
I'm going to have to agree with Drew. That's a stack. That outfield sounds like Boston's outfield last year.
Yeah.
That outfield last year was spectacular, but the outfield this year for Philadelphia, it's immaculate at this point.
It could be one of the best.
Yeah, it really could be one of the best. It's up there, in my opinion. Moving on, the Cleveland Indians. The one thing I want to mention about the Indians is, where are their bats? They don't really have any. Not even in my opinion. I just think that's fact at this point. They don't really have bats, but their starting rotation is what's keeping them where they are.
I mean, with the Indians, you only have 2 guys batting over 300. You have Santana batting 400, and then you have Kipnis batting 333. Besides that, you have people batting 245 all the way to 176. I mean, the bats are just not working for Indians, but it's just the bullpen that's just carrying their team for the most part.
Bowers, he's their ace right now. He's just killing it.
He also got Kluber.
They're off to a slow start. Well, for them, I feel like they do, because they have talent. They have Lindor. They have Jose Ramirez. Those are 2 deep. They're I wouldn't say they're big power hitters, but with the amount of home runs they hit last year, that's a strong 2 in the lineup for them. I feel like they should have a decent par year. So, will they make the playoffs?
I think they make I don't even think that's a question. I think they make the playoffs. So look at the division they're in.
That's true.
The only other team in that division at this point is Minnesota.
Yeah.
Minnesota's almost the only other team that puts up a fight in their division. If they don't win the division, if they don't, and Minnesota somehow does, their wild card.
Yeah,
Easy.
And Minnesota losing Brian Dozier last year, I feel like he was one of their big power guys because I mean, with the slim few they had, I mean, with Brian Dozier gone, I think Minnesota is just not going to have it this year.
No.
One team that's performing a little above expectations, considering off of coming out of 2 World Series losses at their home field, the Los Angeles Dodgers. Amazing start. Amazing.
Yeah.
One of the hottest in a long time.
It's just, I mean, in the beginning, Bellinger's
Bellinger's
still
Peterson.
going. He is just on fire.
Jock Peterson's off to a start. Clayton Kershaw is now back for them. Started pitching last night.
Yeah, they won. He again gave a home run to Puig, his old team.
Yeah.
His old teammate.
Yep. But their bats right now are extremely hot.
Yes.
They almost can't be stopped, it looks like. They're just hitting home run after home run after home run.
I mean, you have 3 guys sitting over 300. You got Trey Turner hitting 302. You got Bellinger. Bellinger's hitting 433 right now.
He's
insane.
on fire.
Jeez.
That's insane.
Yeah, I mean,
Wow.
does he have 11 or 12 home runs now? I think it should be 12.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure it's 11 or 12. But I mean, his OPS is 1.43. I mean, his offensive stats.
That's like Mike Trout numbers right now.
Yeah.
That's insane.
That's an insane
They
number.
have so many dominating lefty hitters on their team. It's just a row of lefties in a row that just keep hitting home runs.
Yeah.
It really is. It's a row of lefties that aren't just there to mess with the pitcher's head. They're there because they actually get stuff
And
done.
actually,
Yeah.
for Bellinger, he's only at 9 home runs.
Only hit 9?
Yeah, he's only at 9 right now. For the
How many does Jock Peterson have?
Jock Peterson.
Because I'm pretty sure he's...
Jock Peterson, he only has 7 home runs and he's been 255.
Really?
Yeah.
Hmm.
It's weird.
Because of all the Dodgers games I've seen, Peterson has just kind of
Yeah.
put on a show.
Yeah, he's been strong. I mean,
I know.
Yeah.
It's. I'm sure a lot of that is
And
situational.
then also in
hitting
the
as well.
bullpen for the Dodgers. I mean, you have some strong starters, and then when you get to the 8th or 9th inning, you got Kenley Jansen to close out the game. I mean, he's one of those powerhouse closers that every team's looking for to close out games.
Yeah. This is it for part 2 of the LHS MLB podcast. To listen on, go ahead and click to part 3 where we'll finish up talking about our par teams. One team in particular that's way above average and expectations. And at the end, you'll hear some way too early playoff predictions from us 4.